Hey guys, we got a story time today. Nice quick one. We had a '07 BMW X5 come in, the 3 liter. Had a bit of carnage. The expansion tank for the coolant, it blew wide open. Big gaping hole in it. All the floaty bits inside were all over the bottom of the engine. And, it's a little scary when you see that coming in. You start thinking, the cooling system got pretty high pressure. Is there a head gasket issue? And of course, at this point, it's drained of coolant. Yeah, it runs, but there's nothing in there. So, what do? You don't want to put money into it if the engine's gone. So we got a expansion tank. It's a few $100s. It's pretty easy to put in, but still, is there anything you can do to be a little more sure, or at least feel a little better comfortable in putting it in? So you start off with checking codes, and there are a couple codes that are worrisome. There's a code for the water pump. It's electric, of course. Oh, it's tight. And then a code for the thermostat. And if you're familiar with these thermostats, they're ugly. They're a big freaking organ assembly. Kind of look like a heart. Well, either of those could do it if you got that toasty. I called the customer, talked to them, and they just had all that work done. A buddy of theirs, they didn't have a scan tool, so nothing was cleared. So maybe that feels a little bit better. So the other thing you can do is drain the coolant, or drain the oil. You don't want to drain all the oil. You don't want to take the plug right out, but just loosen the plug so you get a little bit of a stream. Oil sits on top of water, so if you do have a bad head gasket leak, if it's dumping coolant into the oil, that will be on the bottom of the oil pan. That's what will come out first. So just crack the drain plug, make sure you're getting black oil, or gold oil, but make sure it's not green, and you know what, makes you feel a little better. Now, a head gasket can go and not necessarily put coolant in oil. That's only one way of it going. You could have right at the edge of the cylinder straight to a coolant jacket, just right along the head gasket. Sure enough, that will pressurize the cooling system, but not put anything in the engine oil. Well, at this point, you got to kind of go forth. You've done what you can. So if you're trying to change one of these and you're having a hard time kind of getting the bottom, there's actually a little clip that you can pull when you're looking down at between the reservoir and the fan shroud. There's a little plastic tab. You can get a screwdriver in there, you pull it out, and then you can lift up the expansion tank. And once you do that, you can get to the connector that's underneath it, and then you can put the new one in, and away you go. Now, while we're doing this, also on the visual inspection, we noticed that the fan was unplugged. Well, maybe that's the whole deal, because I guess when they had this work done, it lasted for a week or so. Well, maybe they were only doing a short trip, and maybe they didn't really fully rely on the fan enough. It didn't get hot enough or long enough. So hey, maybe that fixes that issue, because we got 3 issues we got to deal with this, right? First of all, we got to find out how it blew, or what caused it to blow like that. We got to find out what we can do to prevent that from happening again, and we got to address, is there any damage done to this vehicle? So, we don't see anything in the engine oil. We just see engine oil, so that's a good sign. The codes, there's a reason for those codes. Okay, so we can put that in the back of the head. Everything else seems kind of okay. So we put one in there. You run it, runs fine. Doesn't seem to have any problem. But of course, you want to let it. You want to let it idle for a long time, or rev it up a little bit. Make sure she's not overheating, and not just a matter of not overheating, but not overpressurizing. So what I do is the pressure tester, coolant pressure tester, is not just for checking for leaks. It's also got a gauge, right? So you can use it as a coolant pressure gauge. Put it on there, when you start the vehicle, pump it up a bit, so at least you got a bit of pressure in there. You don't have to wait for the whole thing to freaking pressurize. And run it, rev it, make sure it's not getting any excess pressure, and make sure it's able to come back down. not just a matter that you want to see the coolant temperature come back down, but you also want to see the actual pressure of the system come back down too. And sure enough, we ran it for quite a while, rubbed the snot out of it. Yeah, people coming by. Rubbed the snot out of it. The pressure was up there once it reached full operating temperature, but it didn't rise anymore. And once I let off the throttle, it started to come back down. So easy peasy. Of course, we plugged the fan back in, and then you know, hey, you tell them take it, monitor it, hope for the best. But at least you've done as much due diligence as you can. Not every time when you see something blown out like this, or a rad too. Sometimes you can see the plastic tanks on a rad just blown right out. Doesn't always mean catastrophic damage to the engine. This was the case. You know what? It's been quite a while, almost a month or so. Haven't heard anything back, so chalk this one up as great. Anyways, just want to kind of mention this because I thought that the expansion tank was pretty entertaining. And yeah, sure enough, after running it, clearing everything, full heat cycle all the way come down, no codes, no water pump code, no thermostat code. So we're going to call this one good. Just kind of wanted to share this one. You know, have you guys seen anything similar to this? What are your experiences? Anyways, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.